Hello, it's Beach Cams Man and Jack from BAM, and today we have another special for you because we are at Stoneman Engineering in Devon. Back in April 2023, we showed you around the Shea Murtar factory in Ireland, where they manufacture the precast concrete sections of the Dawlish seawall. If you haven't seen this video, please click the button at the top right or check out the link in our comments. In this video, we take a look around the Stoneman Engineering factory in Devon, and they show us some of the manufacturing processes they've done for this phase of the project and how they install the finished products on site. But first, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please click the subscribe button and check the bell icon. Also, please give this video a like and a share if you haven't already done so.
So Stoneman have been working with us for the last 3 or 4 years down in Dawlish.
Yeah.
They've been producing the stainless steel hand railing along the promenade.
Yeah.
The kind of hand railing which you can see that goes on the platform edge as well, some floodgates. And they've also produced all of the stainless steel which goes around the link bridge.
Okay.
And the Stilling Basin area.
Yeah. So as you can see, Stoneman Engineering have already manufactured a lot of the stainless steel railings on the Dawlish seawall, and while the bridge deck was being prepared over in Ireland, Stoneman was getting ready to install the metalworks to complete the bridge parapet.
So Stoneman have got the drawings up for the job on the wall here. This is the actual bridge parapet which we're going to be installing. We just kind of talked through the panelling and the glazing which goes on top then.
Yeah, so these are the beams. Like I say, these beams came in. We then weld the nuts on the inside because the time the plates come on, you can't get in there to get to the back side of the nut, so it becomes a captive nut. Same sort of story here with the top plate for the top channel. So what Mark is doing here is he's welding on the nuts, the captive nuts for the front panels. So he's using the process of TIG welding there just to get a nice neat weld on the nut, and obviously not to get it too hot to damage the internal thread. Yeah, so we get these base plates all cut in from our drawings from a laser cutter. So these are the gusset plates there. I don't know if you can see there as well. Get the outline of the part etched on there so that when our fabricators are putting them together, they know exactly where the parts are going.
And then the holes that you see in here, if you remember when we were over in Ireland, when you had the footbridge, it had some bolts which are cast into the side of it. So this plate then gets clamped onto the top of the bolts. We leave the pockets which we saw over in Ireland around the bolts a little bit free, and that gives Stoneman the flexibility to kind of get the nut into the plate as they're installing it on site then.
The base plate is then welded to the beam and it's ready to head to site for Saturday night's install during the possession when the trains aren't running. First up, they must install the beams on the bridge deck. These are attached directly to the bridge deck using the bolts that Shea Murtar put in place during manufacturing. The beams can only be fitted to the bridge deck during possessions, which is usually Saturday nights. Before the beams can be fitted, Kevin needs to trim down the bolts so they are the right size. Once trimmed, they have to hoist the beams into place, as each one weighs over 100 kilos. Once in place, the engineer securely tightens the beams to the bridge deck and adds the supports that join the beams together. They won't be able to put the facing panels onto the bridge until next Saturday during the possession, so during the week they can fit the handrails to the bridge steps.
These box sections and the tube have all come in cut from the tube laser. So then they've gone down into our mild steel shop where we've tacked them together and assembled them. And they've been fully welded, and then they've gone off to the galvanizers, which they're just back in this state now. And then after this now they're going to be de-snagged, cleaned up before they go off for the paint spray for the network rail paint spec they want it before we go down to Dawlish and start the install. Because this is obviously where you're going with your sort of 100-year plan, trying to keep obviously the lifespan of everything as long as possible. These are galvanised to 140 microns, which is a marine spec. So after they've been fabricated, they need to go off to the blasters. They're shot blasted back to bare steel, giving a nice even finish, and then over to the galvanisers, which is where we use one Southwest galvanisers, again local to us. Yeah, all the handrails that are on site on the precast stairs running down the stairs, what we do is we get the tube in, mirror polished tube, slides on, we bend it to the angles required, take it off, give it a little bit of a tidy up, and then weld the brackets on.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this just clamps onto the pipe, and then you set the angle, and then it just bends it around this point here.
Yeah, the pipe slides on over here on the die. This part then comes up and clamps it on the computerized display. We put in the angle, we've got to allow for a little bit of bounce back from it as well, which we sort of do all the calculations on that, and then we can bend it to sort of any angle we want.
They are getting ready for the next possession, and next to be installed is the facing panels.
So these again have come in flat cut from the laser cutters, and then we've had these bead blasted down at King's Kerswell, just to give a nice even finish on it, because unlike the other stainless steel on site, it can't be mirror polished for reflecting for the train drivers. So this is a bead blast finish, and then it's coated up with an extra stainless steel protection system.
Another possession is in place, and it's time to install the bridge panels. They are using a hoist on the bridge to pass the panels to an engineer in the RRV. The road rail vehicle allows them to manoeuvre safely along the bridge face. The engineer secures them in place and then moves on to the next one. Meanwhile, the BAM team are finishing off the surfacing on the promenade, and they are using a 42-metre boom concrete pump to deliver the concrete over the railway. A week later, it's time for the 30mm glass panels to be installed. These are made of toughened glass and are designed to withstand anything a storm will throw at them.
So one of the awkward challenges that we've got with the handrail that goes over the footbridge is actually connecting it back into the two lift towers. Obviously, the size and the thickness of the material that we're using on site here isn't the easiest sort of thickness of material to work with, is it really? So there's been some kind of bespoke details made up for the returns which go back into the towers. So do you want to just give us a bit of a talk through on how you've achieved those radiuses and what you've done?
It's been a tricky one because obviously the bridge is coming down at a raking angle to let the water off, but then also trying to come square into the bridge tower itself. So these here again have been laser cut and then increment folded, which is the only way we can get it at such a tight radius because the bottom radius, you can see there, is a lot tighter than the top radius, just because of the way it's coming down around on the slope. So we've had to have that laser cut again, etch mark all the fold positions on, and then put them in the press and just pinch a certain degree each time until it comes round and we can form the two radiuses.
So you can see the kind of finish there that they've got. So it doesn't give when the sun's shining on it, it doesn't give a mirror off to the train driver. So like Kevin mentioned, it's just bead blasted. These on this pallet here are the guttering brackets, and also there's some canopies which go above the actual lift shafts which we've talked about in the past. Yeah. So if you remember when we were over in Shea Murtar, they were putting cutouts into the precast units, which had kind of box outs where we would drill and fix the canopy onto. So the canopy comes with a main bracket at the back then, and then it's got 3 support arms which stick out underneath, and then that will go straight above the elevator door on the top of the bridge itself.
So these are the top and horizontal sections of the railing panels, which again we've had cut from the tube laser, all the holes in exactly the right size, right spacing, so our fabricators can then just put the bars in, set them to the right angle, tack them away, and we know we get it right every time.
Because when we weld these the plates and the bars together on this, they will be slightly off vertical. Because this is the hand railing section which goes on the ramp, which goes up to the actual bottom of the stairs at the footbridge. So as you come up for the station car park, this is the hand railing which you will see once it's completed. So they'll do all the tacking and all the welding in this workshop here. They'll then galvanise everything, same as what the other products that we were looking at out on the pallets, and then they'll send it off to the painters then, and this will be painted black as well.
We really hope you've enjoyed this special video. If you have, please give it a like and a share, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so.